He created, above all, you are not to ask such logical questions as, if God wanted strict obedience to His laws, why did He create the possibility of those laws being violated? Your teachers tell you, because God wanted you to have free choice. Yet, what kind of choice is free when you choose one thing over the other? When you choose one thing over the other brings condemnation. How is free will when it is not your free will? When it is not your will, rather. But I will repeat that. Yet what kind of choice is free when you choose one thing over the other brings condemnation? How is free will free when it is not your free will, but someone else's, which must be done? Those who teach you this would make a hypocrite of God. Yan ang sinabi ni God mismo. Those who teach you about all these things, that God is a vengeful God, na kailangan matakot ka sa Diyos. Yan. At yun na nga, binigyan tayo ng free will, pero basically, still, dapat sumunod ka. Pero sabi nga ni God dito, those who teach you this would make a hypocrite of God. You are told that God is forgiveness and compassion. Yet, if you do not ask for this forgiveness in the right way, if you do not come to God properly, your plea will not be heard. Your cry will go unheeded. Even this would not be so bad if there were only one proper way. But there are many proper ways being taught, as there are many teachers to teach them. Kaya nga, iba't ibang relihiyon, iba't iba yung pamamaraan. So sa iba bawal, sa iba pwede. So ano ba talaga, kuya? Yan ang aking Most of you, therefore, spend the bulk of your adult life searching for the right way to worship, to obey, and to serve God. Most of you, therefore, spend the bulk of your adulthood searching for the right way to worship, to obey, and to serve God. The irony of it all, the irony of it, I'm sorry, kasi ang liit ng text sa libro. The irony of all this is that I do not want your worship. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. I do not want your worship. I do not need your obedience. And it is not necessary for you to serve me. That is God saying all these things. So, He doesn't need our obedience. He doesn't need our worship. It is not necessary to serve Him. These behaviors are the behaviors historically demanded of their subjects by monarchs, usually egomaniacal, insecure, tyrannical monarchs at that. They're not godly demands in any sense. And it seems remarkable that the world hasn't by now concluded that the demands are counterfeit, having nothing to do with the needs of desires of deity of God. Alright, so deity has no needs. All that is exactly that. All that is therefore, it therefore wants or lacks nothing. It therefore wants or lacks nothing by definition. If we choose to believe in a God who somehow needs something and has such hurt feelings, if He doesn't get it, that He punishes those from whom He expected to receive it, then you choose to believe in a God much smaller than I. You truly are children of a lesser God. Yan. Ang aking palaging gustong ipahiwatig sa inyo. Kung kayo ay, ang yaman kasi ninyo kung talaga sabi nyo, kaya nyo masaktan ang Diyos. And here you are. Here we are now. God saying, I don't need all this worship, all your services, all your obedience. God, Diyos na nga ako eh. Bakit ko kailangan yan? That's how we should understand God. Diyos ako. So hindi ko kayo hanapan ng whatever. Wala akong kailangan sa inyo. Yan ang hindi natin naintindihan na maayos eh. Alright. Ang sa pagtanong is, what is the beginning of all creation? Ito ang magandang sagot na kailangan natin malaman because very popular ito klaseng ginagawa natin ngayon because of the law of attraction. And tanong nga is, what is the beginning of all creation? The beginning of all creation is desire. Desire. Alright, let's talk more about that. Desire is the beginning of all creation. It is first thought to know who I am. It is first thought. It is a grand feeling within the soul. It is God choosing what next to create. I desire. Okay. So, I'll repeat that. Desire is the beginning of all creation. It is first thought. Pag-iisip, thought. It is, tapos, it is a grand feeling. Remember, we talk about thoughts, feelings. Within the soul, it is God choosing what is need, or what next to create. And susunod na question here is, what does God have? Does God have desires? Kung Diyos ka lang, meron ka ba bang mga desires? But remember, ito nga, what is the beginning of creation? Desire. So, if we actually answer that question, there are 3 desires that God desires. And the first desire, ang sabi niya rito, sabi ni God, I desire first to know and experience myself in all my glory, to know who I am. Before I invented you and all the worlds of the universe, it was impossible for me to do so. Ano ibig sabihin nun? It is God experiencing Himself through us. That's why ako, when I say, I am God as Tato, ang dami siya shock, sinasabi ko. But when I say, I am God, I am not the God, but I am God as me, as Tato. Because God is experiencing Himself or herself through me. Everything I do is what God does through me. Because remember, we are all extensions of God. Because we are all God. I mean, everything is God. So whatever I do with myself, God is experiencing itself through Him. Through me, rather. Gets niyo? Alright. And what is the second desire of God? I desire that you shall know and experience who you really are through the power I have given you to create and experience yourself in whatever way you choose. To experience or to actually know who you really are. Remember, it is so important for us to be aware of who we are. Because it is only through being aware of who we really are can we really make the kind of choices that are going to make me happy, to make us happy. So, lahat itong mga bagay na ito, kung hindi mo kilala kung sino ka, para ka lang alatsamba sa mga ginagawa mo. Para ka lang, bahala na kung ano yung mangyayari. But if you know who you really are, you know what will make you happy. And you also know what you don't like, or what will not make you happy. And you have to experience them for you to be able to understand what will make you happy. So, walang masama dyan. You have to experience left and right, up and down, hot, cold, right and wrong, for you to be able to choose kung ano yung talagang dapat mong paniwalaan o dapat mong tanggapin. So, ayan ang mga bagay na hindi tinuro sa atin ng tama eh. So, ang sabi sa atin eh, love your neighbor. Forget about yourself. Yan ang isang bagay na nakasira sa ating kinalalagyan ngayon sa mundo ito. No? Bawat isa sa atin, we forgot who we are or who we were. And we concentrated on the other person. At nagsisilbi tayo sa iba, nagmamahal tayo ng iba, nakalimutan natin mahalin ang ating sarili. Because, remember, ating sarili ay tayo ang unang pinagmumulan ng mga mangyayari bago ang ibang tao o bago ang ibang bagay. And everything that happens inside us is what will be created outside of us. So if we are actually not able to understand who we are, and we hate ourselves because we don't know or we don't love ourselves, because we cannot see anything nice or beautiful or good in us, how can you expect for us to be able to see the good, the beautiful, and whatever is positive outside us? You can never see that. Kaya nga, eto na SEA Games eh. Ang dami na kaagad batikos eh. Ang dami nakikita ang pakapalpakan, react na kaagad. Basically, all those reactions are pointing back to ourselves. Tayo yung nakikita natin mga masama o mga pangit na nangyayari. Sa ating sarili nagsisimula lahat yan. Kaya pag nakita mo sa labas yan, ibig sabihin yan, tayo ang may problema. Hindi yung nakikita natin. Basically, sabi nga everything we have created. So, na-create natin yun. Bakit natin na-create yan? Wala tayong, I'm not giving any exception here, not even myself. I created all those things kasi I'm part of this mass consciousness. Although I'm trying to actually change the consciousness of the majority, and still I'm part of it. So basically, itong nangyayari ngayon, may kinalaman din ako dyan. So, that's why I'm talking about this. I'm talking this way because I want to change already the consciousness of the masses, of the Filipino. Kasi the moment nag-change yan, ang ganda ng mangyayari sa atin. Lahat ng itong kapangitan na nakikita natin ngayon, lahat ng mga kapalpakan, tayo may kagagawan yan eh. Because of us not knowing who we really are. So that is one desire of God for us, to really know who we are and to be able to appreciate the goodness in us. And the third desire of God is, I desire for the whole life process to be an experience of constant joy, continuous creation, never-ending expansion, and total fulfillment in each moment of now. Di ba? Yun ang desire ng God for us, for everything. That for the whole life process to be an experience of constant joy, continuous creation, never-ending expansion, and the total fulfillment in each moment of now, the present. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Si Richard, nandito na si Sensei. At mukhang ikaw nakasunod dito. Wala pa yung isa. Wala pa si Reverend Reg. But anyway, so, oras ka na ba? Oh, hindi pa. 6 minutes?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. na. Oh, sobra na ako. Kasi nagsimula ako. 4:30 ako nagsimula. More than 1 hour na ako rito. Sabi ko sa inyo, pag ako hinayaan yung salita rito, buong araw, pwede ako nakatayo rito. Kung nagtigil ang aking bibig dito na salita ng, of course, maganda naman itong pinag-uusapan natin. So, tapos na tayo. At, muna. Hindi natin natapos yung chapter 2. Tapusin natin, marami na lang, konti na lang ito eh. Ito na lang. What are the attitudes of God? Ayan, next question. What are the attitudes of God? The attitudes of God are 5. There are 5 attitudes of God that we have to learn. And he actually stated it in this book. joyful, loving, accepting, blessing, and grateful. Those are the 5 attributes of God. Joyful, joyful, loving, accepting, blessing, and grateful. Pag yan sa atin din, ginawa natin attitude yan, di ba napakagandang mga bagay na kailangan natin maisabuhay? That is exactly God-like, being God-like. We are joyful, we are loving, we are blessing, and we are grateful. And lahat, pag itong ginawa natin part of our life na talagang isilabuhay natin yan, ay, ang sarap ng buhay. Palagi masaya, joyful, loving, full of love, full of blessings, at acceptance. Wala tayong idinedreny, walang masama, hindi kanais-nais, lahat yan tanggap natin. Okay. Ano ba tayo ngayon? Ano na question pa rito? Last 2 tayo. What should we do with our present values? Alright, hindi ko na mabasahin ito sa kasi basahin ko na nga para baka makakala nyo, ako nag-iimbento lang eh. What do we do with our present values? Ang sabi nga dito ni God, just hold on to your present values. Alright? All of us have values. Kung ano yung mga bagay na importante sa atin, ano yung mga bagay na ating pinahalagahan sa buhay natin, pinaniniwalaan na ito yung ating part of our pagkatao o sa buhay natin. No? But again, as what God said here, yes, hold to your values so long as you experience that they serve you. My values when I was in high school were different. Na when I was growing older, nag-iiba yung values ko. At ngayon, totally, ibang-iba na yung values ko. Hindi nyo pwede sabihin na hindi kayo nagbabago. Nagbabago tayo. So, ang mga values natin, na kung ano yung mga bagay na importante sa atin nun, ngayon, siguro hindi na importante, palitan na. Kung sa palagay nyo ay hindi na maganda sa buhay nyo itong isang pinaniniwalaan nyo, palitan. That's what God said here. So long as you experience that they serve you. Hanggat nakakatulong sa buhay nyo, okay na. Pero kung hindi, palitan na. Yet, look to see whether the values you serve with your thoughts, words, and actions bring to the space of your experience the highest and best ideas you ever had about you. Alright, and so the last question is, the people who actually wrote the Bible, did they actually meet Jesus? Especially in the New Testament. Did they walk with Jesus? Kasi, di ba, they actually said this, they were the ones who wrote the story of Jesus. No? And sabi nga niya, sila ba totoo ba talaga yan? Na they were actually able to talk to Him and be with Him. And ang sagot dyan is false. Hindi raw totoo. Bakit hindi totoo? Sabi ni God dito sa conversation niya with Neil Donald Walsh, the Bible writers, most of the New Testament writers never met or saw Jesus in their lives. They lived many years after Jesus left the earth. They wouldn't have known Jesus of Nazareth if they walked into Him on the street. See? Siguro ngayon, pag may nagsabi, I am Jesus, siguro, sabihin natin, sira ulo to. Which was what exactly people then saw Jesus in terms of when he was saying that when people were saying that He was the Savior or the King. But the Bible writers were great believers and great historians. They took the stories which had been passed down to them and to their friends by others, elders from elder to elder, until finally a written record was made. And not everything of the Bible authors was included in the final document. Maraming inedit, maraming hindi sinamang mga libro. Yung nga, isang magandang book, the book of Thomas, Saint Thomas, hindi sinama. Ayan. Already, churches had sprung around the teachings of Jesus, and as happens, whenever and wherever people gather in groups around a powerful idea, there were certain individuals within these churches or enclaves who determined what parts of the Jesus story were going to be told and how. So, namimili sila. Kaya nga bawat sekta, bawat relihiyon, kanya-kanya silang interpretasyon ng Bible. Isang Bible lang yung nahawakan nila, pero iba-ibang klaseng paniniwala ang nangyari doon. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much. I think that's what I've covered chapter 2 for that matter. So if you have questions, just text me here in my video. And with that, I'd like to say thank you to all those who had watched us and are going to continue watching us as well. So with that, I'd like to say magandang kamalayan sa inyo lahat. Always feel good. Itong programa natin is Feel Good with Tato. And ito sana ay talagang palagi ninyong tangkilikin ang ating mga palatutunan dito. Kasi mamaya ay mapapanoodin nyo si Dream Sensei, dito sa A Very Good Life, si Lucito De Jesus, and of course, Reverend Reg Tan, who is finally in the house. So, welcome. Natawa si Dream Sensei. Parang ko natatawa. Okay, so with that, thank you and goodbye. Thank you.